meaningful minutes. Now I can understand what the college game is like and what I can expect. And obviously I realize what I need to work on as an individual. So I wanted to work on my game collectively, whether that was the defensive aspect or just get myself stronger and be able to be a more effective offensive player. I think this year coming into it, definitely confidence it was a big thing for me. I think the stretch that I had at the end of the season gave me a big platform to kind of continue that on and go into the season.
Where individually do you think you made strides by yourself over the summer? I mean, we all saw what you guys did in the weight room and that aspect. When you kind of were just by yourself and doing different things, where did you really try to focus on?
Well, I wanted to work on my post game, and obviously everything else but my shooting. I think shooting is one thing that people are going to key in on this year. They know I'm a shooter, so I wanted to work on everything else, whether it was putting the ball on the floor, posting up, or creating for my teammates, just to being able to be an overall player and a threat.
I think last year you shot 50%, but you only averaged a little over 2 shots a game. Was that just you felt that was kind of your role in the offense because you had so many scorers, and with so many scorers back, how do you try to maybe expand your role in that sense, if you get what I'm
saying? Well, yeah, I'm not going to try and force anything because that's not my game. I'm just going to try and let the game come to me. We're a really unselfish team. We look for the best shot, whether that's Frank down low, Sam, Josh, me, Trey, whoever on the perimeter, Nigel down low. We're going to look for the best shot possible. If that happens that I get more shots, then yeah, I'll take advantage of that.
It's kind of rare that a team has so many returning scorers that don't seem to have an ego. I know you're only in one program, but do you kind of feel blessed by that sense that you are in such a locker room that really doesn't care who scores the points?
No, absolutely. That's a big thing. I think that's one thing that's definitely going to help us down the road, because nobody really cares who gets the credit or who's scoring the points or whatever. I think down the road, there's going to be different people stepping up in different games like we saw last year. We had a lot of different people have big games, and we're going to need that this year if we want to be successful.
When do you think this team put the Final Four behind them?
As far as let it go or
process it and then kind of transition into this year?
I think for me, honestly, it probably took me maybe a week or so just to realize everything that happened. I felt like it was kind of surreal, but once I took a seat and really watched the game film and realized what happened, got myself motivated to get even better and get ready for next year. Yep.
How do you translate what you did at the end of last year over to the start of a new year? And I mean, can you think back to where you were at this time a year ago, and were expectations personally, not very high, and how much has that changed?
Oh, it's changed tremendously. I'm coming into this year really confident, excited for the season, hopefully make even bigger strides than I did last year. And I think, obviously, the run that I had towards the end of the season, I really, really used that as a platform to kind of carry my game and my confidence into this year.
Was it possible to work harder during the offseason than you might have in the past, and did you?
Yeah, it is, absolutely, because, in years past you didn't know how much you were going to play or if you were going to play, and now it's, you're going to play, it's just a matter of how much. So you got to work for every minute that you're going to possibly get. So I think that was definitely motivation for that.
You obviously had a front row seat to the, phenomena that was Frank, down the stretch, and, with what he was able to do, and now expectations with the preseason All Big Ten, or Player of the Year in the Big Ten. What's your take on the way he's handling all that, and is he any different as a guy that's got all, probably such a high ceiling now?
Sure, I think he's handled it great. I don't think he's getting too caught up into it. He's just worked on his game this summer, try and involve himself as a player even more, develop different aspects, and just get ready for Big Ten play and the whole season as a whole.
What kind of role model was he in the way that he was able to, I don't want to say come out of nowhere, but, if you look back a couple of years, I'm not sure he would have been the guy that was picked out of a lineup to have the kind of year that he had last year and to be the kind of guy that people are expecting this year.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a great role model to look at, because that's what all of us are going to try and do. Kind of try and come up from nowhere and surprise people. The ones that are taken lightly and don't really expect much from them might be the ones that are going to hurt you the most. And I think Frank definitely took that to heart all that season. People didn't really expect a lot out of him early on, and then he stepped it up towards the end of the season.
Why Frank, though? What makes him the kind of person that can make these huge strides over the course of a couple of years, and anything about him and the way he's made up?
Well, I think being a 7-footer definitely helps the cause. Being able to step outside, shoot threes as a 7-footer, but also be able to post up, that definitely helped him big time. But I think his mentality, early on, he really got down on himself. He was frustrated with himself as a freshman and sophomore, but once he realized that we're going to need him a lot, I think he finally put his foot down and realized that we're going to need him, and carried it from then on.
Do you think Sam has noticed some improvement or shown some improvement already in the practices you've had, and where do you see him? How big a strides do you think he's going to make?
Sam's going to make big strides too. I think with him, his biggest thing was confidence. You know, sometimes he would get down on himself and it would cause him to not play as well as he's capable of. But I think this summer, having the experiences that he did off the court and on the court really led him to kind of build his confidence and build him to what he's going to have this year.
Last question, how much are you going to miss Ben Brust?
A lot. You know, Ben was a big part of our offense and our defense, and I think we're just kind of getting ready for who's going to fill that void in different aspects, whether it's Ben, Bronson, me, Bronson, Nigel, whoever it is.
And personality-wise, too, he brought a lot. I mean, he seemed to be the fun-loving guy. I mean, does someone have to take that over, or does that just kind of just happen?
I think it kind of just happens. You know, we have 3 new freshmen now who are making their way into the locker room and kind of getting their personalities in there. So I think it's just a matter of getting our new chemistry as a team kind of into it and getting everybody equally involved like we did last year.
Great. Thanks, Dewey.
Yep, you're welcome.